In part 1 of this 2-part lesson, we're going to make sure that you can navigate the arrangement view and then look at some basic editing techniques for finishing up a song. So let's start where we left off in the last lesson. But before we dive into making changes, let's first make sure that you can navigate playback and also make sure you can always see what you want to see at any given time. Anywhere in Live that you see the pointer change into a magnifying glass is where you can click and drag to zoom in and out and also scroll left and right or up and down. This includes the overview, which you can show and hide from the view menu, and the area directly below it, the beat time ruler. To zoom out all the way, click on the W button over here on the right. Or if you turn off your computer MIDI keyboard, just press W. And H will optimize the height of all the tracks. When working in the arrangement view, you really probably don't need the computer MIDI keyboard on, and it does block a lot of the key commands, so I recommend just turning it off for right now. If you are zoomed in and want Live to follow along, you can enable Follow, though I rarely, if ever, use this feature. To start playback from any location, you can use the scrub area below the beat ruler when you see the little speaker. This will occur according to our quantization setting. So I usually set it back to 1 bar after recording from session into arrangement, and sometimes I even set it to none depending on what I'm doing. Notice that when we hit the spacebar to stop, and then again to start, it goes back to the beginning. This little blue triangle and this vertical line tell us where the arrangement insert marker is, which is where playback will start from. To move it, all we have to do is click somewhere on the grid or select a clip. Now I can check out another part of the song with the scrub area, and then start back where I selected the clip. Now let's look at the loop brace. It behaves much like the one in the clip view, but this is for the whole song. Up here you can see there's number fields, and they work the same way as in the clip view. We have one for the loop start, and then here these are for the loop length. To loop a section of the song, you can just drag around the loop brace, but you can also make a selection, and then Command L or Control L on PC, just like in the clip view. And once selected, we can use the exact same shortcuts. We can use the up-down arrow keys to move it left or right by its length, and Command up or Command down to double or half it. And of course that would be Control up down on Windows. The loop brace is an easy way to make timeline selections. Just stop and then start playback as needed. Okay, so you can fold or unfold tracks with these buttons. Hold Alt to do them all at once. You can also drag up and down to change the track heights when you see the pointer here. If you want to move a clip, you put the cursor here towards the top of it where the name is, and then you'll see a hand. Now towards the end of the clip, you'll see that the cursor changed into a bracket, and you can drag left or right to change the length of the clip. And if we want to split a clip, we're going to put the cursor on the grid below the clip's name area. So you don't want to see the hand, you want to see the normal cursor. And then you just choose Split from the Edit menu, which is Command E or Control E on Windows. Or select Arrange, then move the cursor up until you see a hand and just drag it where you want. We could also do this to make a copy instead of moving it. Hold down Option or Alt to make the copy. So I recommend going back over this section a few times and practice these techniques until they make sense. Okay, let's look at how to make some variations of the clips that we recorded in from session view. So I have beat 1 selected, and I'm going to press Z to zoom the width, and then Z again to zoom the height. And then if I look down here, of course, we started out with a 1-bar loop. And if you look, we have these little hash marks here, and this is showing me where the loop is actually happening. So notice if I change this, it deletes it on all of them. So I just want to change it maybe in the first 2 bars. So I'm going to click here, Command E to split. And now whatever I do is only going to affect the first 2 bars there. So I'm going to deactivate all of the hi-hats in the first two bars. And then maybe I really only want this shaker sound here on the second time it happens. So I'm going to consolidate these. Command J or Control J on Windows. And now I'll just press 0 to deactivate the first one here. And I'm going to press X to zoom all the way out again. So let's say I want the last notes of the song to be this chord. And again, I can see that this is looping after 2 bars. I'm going to go to the edge here and just drag this out so I get that first chord from here. And then W to zoom all the way out. So you can go into any clip that you brought over from session view and separate the loop, or use some of the techniques we just talked about, where I could make a selection like this, Command E. And now if I change this one part here, it's not going to change everything else. So there you go, some ways to make some variations of your existing clips. Now, what if we want to make big changes to our song? Because of course, we just used 4 bars when we recorded in over here, so our song's pretty short right now. And so the easiest way to make big changes to the whole song is with what are known as time edits, which are found in the Edit menu or via the Context menu on the loop brace. So let's go ahead and use Duplicate Time to extend our song. And notice that as I'm doing this, it doesn't only duplicate the clips that I selected, but it also pushes everything over to the right for us. These time edits are not just for the selected clip, they're for the whole range of time. Now, what if I want to delete some time? Select a range, click on a clip, and then I can choose Delete Time, and it collapses everything back to the left for us. Now, what if we want some empty time? To do this, we're going to go to the Create menu and choose Insert Silence. Now, this is a lot like a time edit, but technically it's not because it's found in the Create menu, but it seems to work the same way. Just remember you have to go to the Create menu, and this is going to be Command I or Control I. And now you just make a selection and hit that, and you'll see what it does. And what if I want to type in a certain length of time? I can just make sure I don't have a selection, and then I can hit Command I and type in what I want. Now, once we have a basic arrangement going, it's really useful to have some labels for the different parts. For this, we can use what are known as locators. And this is a pretty simple process. All you have to do is hit the Set button, and the insert marker tells Live where to put the locator. So I'm going to put a few of these in, and then we're going to rename them. You can right click on them, and also you can use Command R or Control R to rename them. In the next lesson, we're going to look at how to create some transitions, and then we're going to have a look at automation. And then after that, we're going to start talking about creating a rough mix.